try and drag them. So I have 4 liberation campaigns in NUS. That is Black Students, the Women's Claim, LGBT and Disabled. Different autonomous campaigns with officers. The LGBT campaign has 2, has an open place on Women's, and most second place on the National Executive Council. We all do very similar but different work at the same time, fighting the oppression of quite marginalised students in society. And this year we had our very first trans conference in NUS, and that's something that will happen, which the Democratic Conference I'm sure students do. The sort of doing so the Black Students campaign, the Black Malia Boatia, and the things that they're working on at the moment are anti-prevent, attainment gap, matters, things, and so the moving things on Stand By Me, sex and relationship education, and probably one of the most that this year, or they're doing this year, is around lab culture. At the moment, actually, they're doing a roundtable and a lot of discussions on student suicide, and a lot around day and other things that are affecting disabled students. And the women's officer is Susanna, and the disabled students officers might look at them. And the T campaign, which is the campaign I represent, myself and Fran, are looking at LGBT estrangement and estrangement. And we've done a project with Adelaide, looking at and how student unions can help estranged students. Education charter, which is similar to like the gay bi degree stuff, but it was student-led. Sex work and LGBT and sport. So liberation campaigns, but I'm more interested in knowing like what you wanted to get out today and how I can really be of assistance. Because there's no point in me lecturing you on things. I think it's probably better if we do an interactive session. So if you have any points, please.
If you want to type it in your chat box, for some reason Robbie can't hear it at the moment, but I can tell him what you're saying. So Sophie said that all sounds great. So if you want to type into your chat box, or feel free to unmute your mic and just have a chat with us, that also is great. Can't speak, then it might just be worth you just typing in the chat box to the host or other, and we'll Robbie will be able to answer your questions.
I don't mind. I'm quite good at doing that, so I can. But
leave. So she's just saying that she's having to leave. So, to particularly today. So she's currently looking at planning some liberation group networking events for the 4 groups that you've mentioned, Robbie.
Yeah.
But her question is, how do I get people in the room? I don't think she can contact. She can contact all the students and like on lists, so way that you would advertise it to get those people in the room.
There's other ways around engagement. I think I would imagine that you have a students rep or maybe a disabled student society, but if not, things like lecture shout-outs could be quite good, and just having like one place to meet at a time. Sometimes students don't understand what being disabled is, and people don't realise that there are invisible barriers, or invisible disabilities, and so, or hidden disabilities. Sometimes just educating or running campaigns on that to get in and to like bring them into the campaign, and then you can start doing like sign-up sheets. Because if you house, you know, you could do something, campaign on there. Some people, they wouldn't know that, you know, they would be disabled because they don't put those 2 links together. So one good is to sort of people, you know, do they sometimes have problems if they do be comfortable with, to trying to get them involved, but also making sure that there is like autonomous groups that only self-defined students go to, that they can, safe space on campus. I think that's a good way to do that.
So, self-organising student groups.
But also, like when you run campaigns, like make sure you have students who might want to be interested in activism, especially if they define, because sometimes we forget to track like what we're doing here.
Okay, I answered your question, Sophie. She said thank you, Robbie. Oh, here we go. Hi, Jill, who is on Beverly's account. Sorry, calling you Beverly, Jill. Okay. She hasn't got any specific questions, but she's just happy to learn a little bit more and listen to the discussion.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? What about when, because I am union, what staff do if they don't self-identify in those areas, but to organise things for students in those liberation groups?
I think there's a doing for allies in liberation, and I think like it has to start from somewhere. So sometimes I feel a bit uncomfortable about like what to do with it. Obviously, always invite my officers down to Students' Union. We're more than happy to come down and help organise. But I think at the time, one of the things we can speak to the societies or put on an event, like I said before, for like LGBT students especially, which can be and ask people to sign up. One of the things society who can then talk to people about that, because sometimes when people put posters up about an idea in said classroom at time, sometimes some LGBT go out of fear of being outed.
Robbie?
Like, where we don't monitor LGBT students in education, there is a society, or if there's not, how you can by like holding an event for LGBT students and starting to get names and then getting people staff organised.
So Sophie has said that she fits into 3 of the 4 of the groups, but wouldn't feel comfortable is uncomfortable organising a BME networking event. But you would be okay for Sophie to get involved as an ally.
Societies first, but I don't think there's a problem with outreaching to the society first and saying like, underrepresentation of these students, or there are these campaigns going on nationally, and holding them or asking them what events the student union can hold. I think there's definitely a place for that.
Thanks. The other question that I asked is so offices where maybe their societies aren't as political as staff might like them to be, so they don't readily involved in things that are political. How do you make them? How do you get them to understand liberation and basics of it to get them to buy into what you guys are doing as national officers?
I mean, there's a lot of resources for liberation campaigns. So the Black students have done a lot of stuff around Race Matters and things around BME attainment gap. And I think putting things out or talking to students about that is one good. Again, we've just done research into FE, LGBT students in education, and found some really harrowing statistics. 47% of trans students want to drop education. Actually, if you're not talking about that, that gives people a real reason to start campaigning to see what's going on. NUS does a lot of great things like, as well, Liberate My Degree. There's so much doing, especially around liberation, that I think if all the society is all allowed an information point a lot of the time, students would start to get involved, because if they don't know about it or they don't see it, then obviously involved. It doesn't have to be like mega political with EP. There's so many stints and things that you can do to engage students that it have to be set up into non-political students.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the last question I had in the bank of questions that people have sent through. So Sophie has said she's also thinking about how to make the events interesting and entertaining to keep people in the room. She was thinking of having an open mic and welcome students to perform. Colleagues have raised concerned it would be intimidating. Have you got any thoughts?
Yeah, although from quite a lot of students, there might be some disabled students with like hearing parents or sight or in big places, so that could be off-putting for some students. A lot of where the event is, what it's doing, what your approach is. There's because you could engage and you could do a lot. You can be very political through music. But it's about how's it outside when it wasn't so loud. We get to this moment, we don't really get that somewhere. You could people don't go to the or because of the noise and stuff. So that might be something thinking about. But again, I think it's about speaking to the part-time officers about that, how that would work at your union.
Interesting points, thank you. Anyone else got any questions? Because if not, that might be the biggest webinar we've ever done. Another question. Okay, so it's Beverly, so I keep getting confused, but Jill, how would you encourage LGBT plus students to engage more students while we have our society only has 17 members and most are only interested in campaigning? Okay, so how do we get more students to be part of the LGBT plus movement locally, I suppose?
The whole way of things, like you can be, political and certain. So you can like campaigns around the blood bank. We used to do like handprints, a big, red handprints and get people to sign. Or like sports, we do like a sports game played. Really fun, but like we were in like post bags. And we like health and safety nightmare for a lot of staff. But I think that way is like a fun campaign, and then people wanted to go for like coffee afterwards. We did a space, and then people want that and drink afterwards. There was also a space for that. So what we used to do was campaign and then put on like an after social to incorporate everybody. So those who wanted to go out and drink, but wasn't in the day or to support it, and they didn't want to do that, but wanted like a social drink that wasn't alcoholic. There was a coffee, and then there was those who wanted to have a drink in the night. So it sort of captured people that we wanted to and you just campaign go for a drink afterwards, and those who just wanted to party would go in the campaign too. So it made it a lot more like holistic in our reach to LGBT students. And again, it's LGBT, now it's at like 150, so it's kept that sort of base of like that that want to come along. Those who just want to make friends who are LGBT, those who want to be political identity, those who just want to go out and drink with LGBT people, a lot of reasons why people join the LGBT society, and I think if you put on a good mix of the day, you'll get more people coming in, and then more people joining as a consequence, because you're not just doing drinking clubs, political clubs, there is in the movement.
Freshers and Welcome Week, Robbie, because that will obviously be the main recruitment.
Yeah, so we had a stall. We also had cards on other. So we had cards on other tables that said, "If you're not ready, here's Facebook Freddy." And Freddy was a Facebook page that you could click and it had open messages to say they weren't out yet, but you wanted to join the LGBT society or you're interested in it, but you didn't want to come up to the stall and tell us about it. And so, message and people would join, but like more anonymously, and their name wouldn't be on the list. But everyone's bureaucracy might be different of how you add that. But you just message us, we would add to our list and then send you through a private messaging system. So we BCC'd those people on emails and didn't send out blanket messages to them, so they didn't join the Facebook group until ready. So we had like an individual set of people that we would invite to all our campaigns. Ready to come out, or if they wanted to, a few people from the society, we would go have a coffee and talk about coming out and what that means and how we could help them. But also, donut freshers are having huge rainbow flags and all the other flags for multiple years, and seats and condoms and lube and dental jams and all the things that you can have on a freshers stall. And we did quite well. It was very visual. People weren't like comfortable coming over and talking to us. They're not charging too much to join the society. Huge rate to join them. People won't try and make it very minimal or to join the advocacy. I would say.
Sorry, we've got another question from Sophie. Don't worry, Sophie, you're not dominating it. There's only 2 of you, so it's pretty impossible to dominate chat. So Sophie says that a candidate team, the current election, are running as the SUicide squad. So it basically spells out suicide squad. Which she thinks is very insensitive. They have a huge banner in the main entrance of the uni. Is it a valid complaint to make, or is it better to let these students voting know that these candidates are insensitive to mental health concerns?
I think that is a legitimate. I think you should pull that. Obviously, especially given how many, a lot of the hardship that they face. I think it's very insensitive, and I think you should speak to the candidates, and a complaint should probably be made.
Okay.
That'd be
yeah. Anyone got any other questions for me? Okay, so from students identify LGBT plus say would not join the society because they don't feel the committee represent the actual whole community of LGBT plus students at our university. I think we get students to all make the society what they want it to look like.
Yeah. There's 2 ways there. So there was the one, there was like there's a structural sort of way. So making sure that there are reserved places so you get a diverse range of voices, especially within the LGBT community, to bring different perspectives forward in a society. Maybe there's more representation on like council, so like an open place, and I mean, it's always, and also just ensure that there are like the representatives to ensure there are campaigns up there, or secretary, other positions like that, to ensure there is a broad 57, but there's a broad range of people there who are diverse. Sort of back to earlier about the different sorts of events that they hold, so having campaigning ones, but also social ones and talks. I mentioned that to bring in like speakers to talk about different aspects of LGBT. So it could be around sport, or it could be around representation, or in STEM. So you can get people down to come and talk on. Fran and I are more than happy to go to Students' Union and give a talk. I've done very many, from mental health to Malcolm Murray. I think they do really fascinating to get them in. But obviously, if it's just the LGBT society just going to the bar, that's only going to people and alienate a lot. And also, if they're, I could argue they'd never be too political, but some would say too political, and would alienate those who want to come and make friends. So I think it's about looking at how also committee is to make sure the engagement that is max, because they bring in everybody, and the team would get the best solutions to that.
Questions, Sophie or Jill? Because she's asked if you might be interested in coming to their LGBT plus networking event. She will email you. Sophie says she thinks that's everything. Well, I'm going to put my email address in the chat box now. So if there are any other questions, let me know. I can forward to Robbie or someone from the Liberation team. But yeah, Jill says that's everything from her too. But if you need anything else,
I'm sorry there's a good turnout, but honestly, get in touch if you want me to visit you. I certainly can.
Lovely.
No.
Thanks everyone. Bye.